production of Lance Reynard on weed. These are my subscribers, or people I have subscribed to or have subscribed to me, and I am showing this because I highly doubt that any one of you would disagree with the upcoming video's information and data, facts, the way our society has been mishandled, and how we should consider ways to recreate. And in order to give a proper consideration of things, it's good to have all of the information. And a lot of information is in the upcoming video and dealing with this video called The Union, the Business Behind Getting High, which was The Union, the Business Behind Getting High is a classic in my opinion, and it has a lot of fantastic information. I will be showing this information. Now, I mentioned I would be running through biological resonance, and I still intend to, because this is absolutely related to the electrostatic universe, and I think I'm going to get down into the makeup and breakdown of the growing of medical marijuana. That little joke I made in my last video brought me to the realization that I do have a lot of information about that. So let me pass that on to you and share that through this curiously interesting and well presented video called The Union, the Business Behind Getting High. And I would like to thank all of you people that I'm showing here, and those who I have yet to subscribe to. And Flat Earth Nation, yeah, that was the name that I missed the other day. Apologize for that. And yeah, enjoy Lance Reynard on weed video. Oi, oi, Martin. Captain Kirk, always a pleasure, guys. I think you're going to like this one. And yeah, thanks. Check stuff out. And I know people are popping into me every once in a while, at least. And so we'll go ahead and get to the issue here. I'll come back to comments later on in this episode. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be talking about pot, and I'm going to be talking about the union and the importance of how we handle our society properly rather than the way it has been handled. And White Tiger, happy birthday to you. White Tiger, happy birthday to you. He's 70 years old. Congratulations. A lot of us can't quite get there. You got 7 years on me, big guy. DN, glad to hear from you again. That's one happy dog. And I love that puppy dog. He's just one funny little goofball. He's having a great time. So, let's get to the issue today. You know, nature provides for us. We look at nature or pick it, and now that we picked or looked at it, we are going to be thrown in a cement cage at our cost to us. Wow, I shouldn't laugh, but this is sick. Cannabis for industrial uses. There are so many industrial uses, it is beyond measure. Let's get into that part. And now this is put out by Liberty Source, and the name is The Union, the Business Behind Getting High. It was put out in 2007, obviously. And go ahead and pop a subscription to Liberty Source. If you've never seen this, and I would like to mention, this is probably the most mirroring you'll ever see me do, or I've done so far anyway. But in order for me to convey the information I would like to convey, yeah, this is a treat. So I'm just going to go ahead and mirror some of this.
Marijuana History 101. Or should I say extremely brief Marijuana History 101. It's big, complicated, and we'll only be able to scratch the surface. So let's get started. The first thing that strikes one as odd when looking at the history of marijuana, which is also known as cannabis, is how very much legal it once was. In fact, it wasn't only legal, it just happened to be one of the largest agricultural crops in the world, including the United States. You see, cannabis can also be hemp. And just what is hemp? Well, it's by and large the most robust, durable, natural soft fiber on the face of this planet. Up until 1883, and for thousands of years before, cannabis hemp was the largest agricultural crop in the world. It had thousands of uses and products. The majority of fabric, lighting oil, medicines, paper, and fiber came from hemp. The first marijuana law to exist in the United States was a law ordering farmers to grow hemp. Benjamin Franklin used it to start one of America's first paper mills. The first 2 copies of the Declaration of Independence were written on cannabis hemp paper. Up until the 1800s, most of the textiles in the United States were made with hemp. 50% of medicine marketed in the last half of the 19th century was made from cannabis. Even Queen Victoria used the resin extracts from cannabis to alleviate her menstrual cramps. But the funny thing about industrial hemp was you couldn't get high from it. Yet, it was lumped in with the following, which also made little sense. Reefer madness. In the early 20th century, yellow journalism had surfaced. Articles depicted blacks and Mexicans as frenzied beasts who would smoke marijuana, play devil's music, and heap disrespect and viciousness on the readership, a majority of which happened to be white. Some offenses included looking at a white woman twice, laughing at a white person, or even stepping on white men's shadows.
Moment with the stepping on the shadow and the whole bigotry thing that is pressed by the government, in that because somebody's a certain color and they're subject to this cannibalistic nature. I mean, the vile impression that is pressed upon one person about a race and one country against another, just a type of a person, and then equating that to an insane, I mean, the mind control and the mind games being played to create the particle physics I continue to bring up in my videos, in how we are continuously pushed to be separate and separated, and only this type matters, and these people are this way and those people because of their colors. So this psychological oppression that we have all faced, I know as I may have mentioned, feel guilty for doing things I never did, my family never did, but because of my color, I feel responsible. And am I? So this is part of the particle physics issue that the government has used in using this particular extremely beneficial item to oppress us, which is just psychotic. It's type A psychosis, gang.
Ended up leading to a law in the form of a tax stamp. A tax stamp that would not only include marijuana, but also hemp and cannabis medicines. It speculated that hemp's potential for an abundance of new products was going to be in direct competition with other sources. And this, added to the reefer madness, led to the eventual downfall of all forms of cannabis. Popular Mechanics magazine had actually prepared an article entitled New Billion-Dollar Crop. Hemp was touted as being able to produce more than 5,000 textile products from its thread-like fiber and more than 25,000 products from its cellulose, ranging from dynamite to cellophane. Its superiority as a source for paper was also becoming known, especially with the development of hemp processing equipment. Now, the new Marijuana Tax Act was all fine and dandy, except for one thing. If you wanted to grow hemp, you needed to buy a stamp, but they weren't giving any out to anybody. And so, in effect, all forms of cannabis became illegal. Things pretty much stayed that way until World War II, when the government decided that hemp once again was a good thing and produced a video, Hemp for Victory. But by the time the war was over, hemp again became bad. And in 1948, when the marijuana law once again came into question, Congress recognized that marijuana was made illegal for the wrong reason. It didn't make people violent at all. It made them pacifists. The communists would use it to weaken America's will to fight. Congress now voted to keep marijuana illegal for the exact opposite reason they had outlawed it in the first place. And all through the years, report after report, commissioned by everybody, from the mayor of New York to the president of the United States, has come back with the view that marijuana should have no criminal penalty attached to it. Yet, marijuana remains as illegal today as it did nearly 70 years ago.
Just to say that this is going to be anywhere from a 4 to a 7-part series, and where I will be going through bits and pieces. Avoid copyright infringement by playing somebody else's music. I will let the credits run to show you who produced the original film, and also who wrote the music, edited by Stephen Green, and then the original music by Michael Champion, and written by Brett Harvey and Adam Scorgi. So there's a lot of details that we can consider in this particular production, and a lot of people don't realize the plastics that can be made. They really don't think about the 25,000. It just breezes by 25,000 chemicals, which you just heard. However, the variety and the application of those chemicals. And so in the finality of this particular short union, The Business Behind Getting High, I would suggest go to the link and watch the entire piece, or wait for me to put mine out. Over the next couple of days, I will be devoting the time to go through this entire video. And the difference between you watching it and watching me go through it is I am going to do the research state by state and look at all the federal and state laws and differences between the states' decisions thus far and presently. So even though this was created in 2007, I'm going to be basically going through it and interested in updating details and information, and then relating growing data to the bioresonance, electromagnetic, and radioscopic atmosphere that we have, and how it affects growing weed, and and soils and nutrients as well. So comment, like, and subscribe. I'll be right back with more information and details. No more than 2 days, I would expect. And this is going to be a lot of fun and very interesting. Thanks for playing. Talk to you soon.